Hello student, today we are going to study NCERT class 8 history chapter 2 from the trade to territory and the company established power. This is the third part of this video. In the previous video we have learned about how the British used to came in India over the period of time, slowly and gradually how they expand their territory. First they start come from the South India, then they establish their expansion in the Bengal. Then after that, they used to come towards the south, and they fought with the Tipu Sultan. Many times they defeated, but at the last war, they used to hostage or they used to capture the Tipu Sultan and their two sons. And by this, on the South India as well, they started their expanding their power, like they are taking into the consideration the local people or the local Awas. They used to start enjoying the privileges which is given by the king to them, that what are the certain things like we have to do it by giving them the bribes, by giving them the gold coins, or by giving them the silver coins. By that the local people of the India, they used to help them that you can do this certain kinds of work. So these are the certain scenario which we can say that these are the things which we are going to see by the people, what they are doing or what they are not doing. So in the today's third part of the what points we have to cover this war with the Marathas, the claim of the paramountcy, the doctrine of lapse, and the setting up a new administration. These are the 4 points which we're going to uh, finish in this third part of the video. Let's start with this. On the page number, you can come from the page number 18. Start with the war with the Marathas. How the East India Company fought with the Marathas. The Maratha peoples who are generally in the region, you will find the Maharashtra, but the people used to fought with them like this. From the late 18th century, the company also sought to eventually destroy the Maratha power with the defeat in the third battle of Panipat in 1761. यानी 18th century के ending में the company also sought to grab and eventually destroy the Maratha power with the defeat in the third battle of Panipat in 1761. The Maratha dream of ruling from Delhi was shattered. यानी उनको जो ड्रीम था दिल्ली से वो क्या हो गया, shattered हो गया. They were divided into many states under the different chiefs. They were divided into many under different chiefs, that is सरदार. जैसे मुगल में सूबेदार होते थे, ऐसे मराठा जो उनका किंग होता, जो उनके अंडर जो काम करते, उनको क्या बोला जाता था, सरदार. Belonging to the dynasties such as Scindia, Holkar, Gaikwad, and the Bhosle. So these are the people who used to rule over in the middle India. Now, and you can take the nearby the MP, in the MP, in the UP, in the Maharashtra, in this area where they used to rule over. The name is the Scindia, Holkar, Gaikwad, and Bhosle. The chief were held together in the confidence. Confederacy means the alliance. These people are in the alliance because they all are Marathi. They have the alliance. They have the one king. They used to call them as the Marathas under the Peshwa, the principal master. यानी जिनका main master उनको क्या बोलते थे लोग, Peshwa, who become it effective military and the ex-military had based in Pune. इनका जो military था, जो administrative had base था, वो कहाँ था, पुणे में था, यानी पुणे. Mahaji Scindia and the Nana Padins were the two famous Maratha soldiers and the statesmen from the late 18th century. These are the two people which are very much famous in the late 18th century. The Maratha was subdued in the series of war, यानी war चलती रहती थी. In the first war that ended in 1782 with the Treaty of Salbai, यहाँ पे treaty की गई सालबाई की. There was no clear victory, यहाँ पे कोई clear victory नहीं थी. The second Anglo-Maratha war, यानी जो second Anglo-Maratha war हुआ वो कब हुआ, 1803 to 1805, means 1803 to 1805 was on different fronts. यानी बहुत सारे different fronts के बीच में लड़ाई हो रही थी, resulting in the British gaining the Orissa. means यहाँ पे मराठास हार गए और ब्रिटिशर्स ने किसको कैप्चर कर लिया, उड़ीसा को. then territory north of the Yamuna river including the Agra and the Delhi, यानी आगरा यमुना रिवर के जो नॉर्थ साइड में था, जैसे कि आगरा था और दिल्ली था, उसको भी इन्होंने कैप्चर कर लिया. Finally, the third Anglo-Maratha War of 1817-19 crushed the Maratha power. इन्होंने 1817-1819 में they used to crush the Maratha power, and the Peshwa was removed and sent away to the Bittur near the Kanpur. यानी जो पेशवा जो थे, the Peshwa Bajirao II, not one, the Peshwa Bajirao II was sent to the Bittur nearby the Kanpur with a pension. The company now had to complete control over the territory south of Vindhyas, यानी जो विंध्या के जो साउथ एरिया पार्ट था, यानी you can talk about the nearby the UP and nearby the MP. They used to conquer that particular place, and they slowly and gradually they expand their territory. The claim of Paramountacy, the come to the second topic of today's video. It is clear from the above, from the early 18th 19th century, the company pursued an aggressive policy. Aggressive policy means a kind of a strict policy, or a kind of a very quick policy of territorial expansion. They want to expand their territory under the Lord Hastings, the Governor General, from 1813 to till 1823. A new policy of paramountcy. You can see this is the picture of Lord Hastings, the Governor General. Now the company claimed that its authority was the paramount or the supreme. Here it powers the greater than that of the Indian state. In order to protect its interest, it was justified in annexing or threatening to annex any Indian kingdom. The view continued to guide later British policies as well. Means he is authority, the paramount, but whatever happened in India, इट्स यूज टू कम अंडर लॉर्ड हेस्टिंग. मतलब जो भी चीज कुछ गलत हो रहा है, कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, ये सारे चीज कौन देखेगा? लॉर्ड हेस्टिंग इन इंडिया. तो इसके अंदर पैरामाउंट सुप्रीमेंसी था. हैंस इज द पावर वाज ग्रेट देन दैट ऑफ द इंडियन स्टेट. इन ऑर्डर to protect its interests, it was justified in annexation and threatening to the annex any Indian kingdom. This view continued to guide later British policies as well. यानी जिसने all the policies, all the plans, all the supreme power, what made by the Lord Hastings, when the other governor used to come, they used to follow the number of such policies, the plans, or you can say his ideas is followed by number of the governor generals, which they come from the Britain in the India. Now the process, however, did not go unchallenged, because, for example, when the British tried to annex the small state of Kittur, Kittur is in the Karnataka today. यानी अगर उनको किसी छोटे से टेरिटरी, छोटे से प्रिंसली स्टेट को उनको अगर उनको कैप्चर करना होता था, रानी चांदमना took to the arms and led an anti-British resistance movement. Means what she did, Rani Chamana took two arms, यानी रानी चांदमना जो आर्म्स को ले लेती थी, and led an anti-British resistance movement in which they used to fight with each other. She was arrested in 1824. She was arrested in 1824, by which we will come to know that how the queen used to fight with the British officials. In this case, what we can see that Lord Warren Hastings, he make the policy that he can fight for any of the people of the India. Like if we talk about the Kittur, this is the small kingdom where he used to go over there and he used to fight with this lady, and where they used to fight. What I come to know further that he was arrested in 1824 and died in the prison in 1829. She was arrested in 1824 and she used to die in 1829. But Rayan, a poor चौकीदार ऑफ संगोली इन किटूर, यानी जो रयान जो था, जो पुअर चौकीदार था ऑफ संगोली इन किटूर, carried on the resistance with the popular support. He destroyed many British camps and records. उसने बहुत सारे ब्रिटिश और कैंप्स को रिकॉर्ड किया था. He was caught and hanged the British in 1830. उसने ब्रिटिश को कैप्चर किया और 1830 में उसको he used to like hang him, यानी इसको फांसी दे दी. You will read more several resistance later in this book. Now come to us on page number 19. First you can see the picture, the Maharaj Ranjit Singh holding the coat. The Ranjit Singh is from the Punjab. He is a very good king, where you can later you will come to know further about this also in further chapters. In the 1830, East India Company become worried about Russia, because it imagines that Russia might expand across the Asia. Like the Britishers have the fear that the Russia may expand their territory, or Russia may expand their roots over the Indian subcontinent. So they have the fear that might the Russia used to come and fought with the Britishers, and they used to conquer the India till the 1830s. So in this case, the might expand across the Asia, enter India from the northwest. Driven by the fear, the British now wanted to secure their control over the northwest. So they want to secure the power in the northwest. They fought the prolonged war with the Afghanistan. The British used to fight with the Afghanistan between 1838 and 1842 and establish indirect company rule. Indirectly, they used to rule over there. Sindh was taken over in 1843. Now the present day Sindh is in the Pakistan. Earlier it was the part of the India. Next line was the Punjab, but the presence of the Maharaj Ranjit Singh, I already told you, is from the Punjab, held back the company. After the date that of the Ranjit Singh in 1839, two prolonged war was fought within the Sikh kingdom. Ultimately, the 1849 Punjab was annexed. So think about it. Earlier, till 1839, there was the Ranjit Singh. So all the power is under the Ranjit Singh only. But in after the annexed the Punjab, the 1849 it took over by the Britishers. Now come towards the doctrine of lapse. What the doctrine of lapse is? The final war of annexation occurred under the Dalhousie, who as the Governor General from 1848 to 1856. He devised a policy that came to be known as the doctrine of lapse. Means the final of annexation occurred the Dalhousie. Dalhousie आपने सुना होगा. There is one place in the Himachal Pradesh. It's under the name of this governor only, the Dalhousie, which I'm giving you this because you have some get some idea what the Dalhousie is. The Dalhousie is a place in the Himachal Pradesh. This is a hill station which you have heard about it. It's on the name of this governor only, who was the governor general from starting from 1848 to till 1856. He devised a policy that came to known as the doctrine of lapse. वो एक policy के साथ आया जिसको बोला जाता है doctrine of lapse. The doctrine declared that the Indian ruler died without a male heir, his kingdom would be lapsed. Means अगर कोई राजा मर जाता है, अगर उसका कोई मेल बच्चा नहीं है, तो जितनी भी उसकी टेरिटरी हो किसके अंडर आ जाएगी? ब्रिटिशर के अंदर. If any of the king used to die, if he is not having the male son, so his whole territory, his whole kingdom is taken under the consideration of whom? The Britishers, the East India Company. So it became the part of the company territory. One kingdom after the another was annexed simply by applying this doctrine that is called Satara, that is in 1840. Satara is in Mumbai. Sambalpur, that is again in Mumbai. Udaipur, that is in present day Rajasthan. Nagpur and the Jhansi, which is in the UP. Finally, in 1856, company also took over the other. Then slowly and gradually, when they are not having their male sons, so the company has captured this particular places which I have read. That is first is Satara, then the Sambalpur, then the Udaipur, then the Nagpur, then the Jhansi. Finally, in 1856, the company also took over the Awadh. This time the British had an agreement. They said that they were obliged by duty to take over the Awadh in order to free the people from the misgovernment. मतलब अपने government को free करने के लिए of the Nawab enraged by humiliating by way in which the Nawab was deposed. The people of Awadh joined the great revolt that broke out in 1857. The number of the people or the number of the Nawabs were joined the Awadh in the revolt of 1857, which we are going to learn in the further chapters. Now come to see this the map. In India, the 1797. That is the areas under the British rules. This is the area under the British areas, not under the British. You can see the yellow one, which is the Banaras and the Calcutta and the some part of the Hyderabad and some part of the, you can say, the Mysore or the present day Karnataka. This was under the British, which is yellow in color. The orange color, which is are under the princely state. Now we talk about the further. This is the map of India of 1840, where you can see the area under the British rule. That is again in yellow. Then apart from that, then the areas you can see in 1857, where the Lahore, where the Delhi, the Lucknow, then the Banaras, then the Calcutta, then the Bombay, and the Madras. How the Britishers slowly and gradually over the period of time they conquered the India and the some most of the part of the India, and by, you can say, by giving the bribe, by giving the corruption, and by taking the number of the people into their consideration, the number of the things they have did. Slowly and gradually they conquer our territory. So these are the main, it is of 1797, this is of 1840, and this is of 1857, where our first revolt of independence is started for the United India. Now come towards the setting up a new administration. In this, the Warren Hastings, the Governor General from 1773 to till 1785, was the one of the many important figures who played a significant role in the expansion of company power, because he played a very much important role to expand his company power. Means उसने इतना बड़ा रोल प्ले किया है कि अपनी कंपनी यानी ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की पावर्स को फैलाने के लिए बहुत बड़ा योगदान दिया है. By his time, the company had acquired the power not only in the Bengal, सिर्फ बंगाल में नहीं, but also in the Bombay and the Madras. British territory were broadly divided into the administration and called the presidency. इन टेरिटरीज को बॉडी डिवाइड किया गया एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव यूनिट कॉल दी प्रेसिडेंसी. देयर वर द प्रेसिडेंसी कॉल्ड बंगाल मद्रास एंड बॉम्बे. प्रेसिडेंसी को बोला जाता है बंगाल मद्रास एंड बॉम्बे. ईच वाज रूल्ड बाय द गवर्नर. सारे किसके द्वारा रूल किए जाते हैं? बाय द गवर्नर. द सुप्रीम हेड ऑफ द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वाज द गवर्नर जनरल. जिसको सुप्रीम हेड है वो कौन है? गवर्नर जनरल. वॉरेन हेस्टिंग द फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल इंट्रोड्यूस द सेवरल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म्स. जो वॉरेन हेस्टिंग थे, जो फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल थे, he introduced several administrative reforms, notably in the spirit of justice, because he wants to give the justice to each and every people, especially if you can say in the consent of the Britishers rather than the Indian peoples, because he is much more in the favor of the Britishers rather than the Indian peoples. Now come towards the more further. From 1772, a new system of justice was established. Each district was have two courts, that is a criminal court, or that is called the Faujdari Adalat, that is the Urdu word, and the civil court, that is called the Diwani Adalat. Maulvis and Hindu Pandits interpreted the Indian laws for the European district collector who प्रिसीड ओवर द सिविल कोर्ट्स. मीन्स जो हिंदू पंडित होता था और जो मुस्लिम्स का मौलाना होता था वो भी यूरोपियन कोर्ट्स में जाते थे, बिकॉज जो उनका जस्टिस किया जाए उनके धर्म के बेसिस पर, और जो उन्होंने रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बनाए उनके बेसिस पर उनका जस्टिस किया जाता था. द क्रिमिनल कोर्ट वाज स्टिल अंडर द काजी. इफ यू आस्क व्हाट द काजी इज अ जज. And if you ask the Mufti, what the Mufti, a jurist of the Muslim community responsible for exploring the law, the Qazi would administrate. Means जो मुफ्ती उसको कहा जाता है जो उनके धर्म के जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस होते हैं उसके बारे में बताता है कि कौन सा लोग किसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, क्या उसका एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है. अब उसके आगे बात करते हैं, बट अंडर द सुपरविजन ऑफ द कलेक्टर्स. ये सारे कलेक्टर के अंदर ही किया जाता था कि जो काजी होता था, ही इज द जज, एंड द मुफ्ती हु इज द सीइंग द रूल्स ऑफ द व्हाट द पर्टिकुलर थिंग इज what the crime is committed by anybody. So he used to see that what justice we have to do according to the which rule. So you can see this figure that is of a particular court over there. The trial of Warren Hastings, painted by R.G. Pollard in 1789. This is again very beautifully painted. When the Warren Hastings went back to England in 1785, Edmund Brooke accused him of being personally responsible for the misgovernment of the Bengal. Like he is the person responsible for misgovernment of Bengal. This led to an impeachment. If you ask me what the impeachment, a trial by the House of Lords. If you ask a House of Lords of what, यानी पहले के टाइम में जो जजेस होते थे उनको हाउस ऑफ लॉर्ड कहा जाता था इन इंग्लैंड, ऑफ द चार्ज ऑफ मिसकंडक्ट ब्रॉट बाय द पर्सन इन द हाउस ऑफ कॉमन्स. तो दिस इज द हाउस ऑफ कॉमन्स. यहाँ पे आपको दिख रहे होंगे जो लॉर्ड्स बैठे जिसको हम आज जज बोलते हैं, पहले के टाइम उनको हाउस ऑफ लॉर्ड्स कहा जाता, जो सारा देखते थे जिसने किसी ने क्राइम किया और अपने रूल्स के अकॉर्डिंग उनको क्या देते थे? पनिशमेंट देते थे. So, Edmund Brooke accused him of being personally responsible for misgovernment of the Bengal. This led to an impeachment proceeding in the British Parliament that lasted 7 years. यानी कितने साल तक रहा? 7 years तक रहा. Now, come to us on the next page. A major problem was the Brahman Pandits gave different interpretation of the local laws based on the different school of the Dharma Shastra. अब major problem क्या था? Pandits they gave the different interpretation to the local based on the different school of the Dharma Shastra to bring about uniformity. यानी वो uniformity लाना चाहते थे. In 1775, 11 पंडित्स were asked to compile to digest of the Hindu law. यानी ऐसे 11 पंडित्स को बुलाया गया जिसका कहा गया you have to digest this Hindu law, and we have translated this digest into the English. जो उन्होंने क्या किया, जो डाइजेस्ट था, इट इज रिटन इन दी हिंदी, सो ही यूज्ड टू ट्रांसलेट इन दी इंग्लिश. But 1770, the code of Muslim law was compiled into the benefit because it was written in the Urdu, so it was written in English for the European judge. Under the Regulating Act, that is of 1773, a new Supreme Court was established by the Court of Appeal, the Sardar Nizamat Adalat, who also set up the Calcutta. The principal figure is an Indian district was the collector. The main person is the collector. As the title suggests, his main job was to collect the revenue and tax and maintain the law and order in his district with the help of the judge, police officer and the darogas. The principal figure in the Indian district was the collector. यानी इंडिया में जो इंडिया के डिस्ट्रिक्ट होता था, जो प्रिंसिपल कलेक्टर किसका होता था? कलेक्टर्स का। जो जितना जो उनकी जॉब का था, उन्हीं का काम है कि जिसने किसी ने क्राइम किया उसी के बेसिस पर उनको क्या लेना था? जजमेंट लेना होता था। देन दे कलेक्ट द रेवेन्यूज, दे कलेक्ट द टैक्सेस, दे मेंटेन द लॉ एंड ऑर्डर्स, and they used to judge, and the police officers earlier we used to call the police officer as the darogas. तो इसमें क्या होता था? जो कलेक्टर्स होते हैं उसको प्रिंसिपल काम क्या होता था कि जिस किसी ने क्राइम किया है, those who had committed the crime, they have to give punish to them. He has the work, or he had a work to collect the tax, to maintain the law and order in this particular district, and he used to give the order to the officials, or you can say to the police, to capture or to handcuff this particular person because he did committed the crime. So these are the work under the Britishers, where the particular collector have to look after his district. The official collector become the new center of the power. Now the collector will become the new center of power and patronage that the steadily replace the previous holder of the authority. Yes, they used to change the previous authority. Now come to the next one is the company army. Now if you think about the company army is, in the company army earlier they used to appoint only the Britishers, but the later on they used to appoint, or they used to recruit the people who are from the in the Indians, because earlier they don't want to recruit the Indians in their army, but slowly and gradually they think that we have to recruit, we have to appoint this person also as well, because we are ruling over the India. Now there is the colonial rule in the brought in some new ideas of the administration reform, but its power rested only in the military strength. कॉलोनियल रूल जब इंडिया में लाया गया तो उसके जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन थे, जो रिफॉर्म्स थे, वो सब किसके अंदर आते थे? मिलिट्री स्ट्रेंथ के अंदर। द मुगल आर्मी वाज मेनली कंपोज ऑफ कैवलरी। जो मुगल आर्मी थी उसको हम कैवलरीज के अंदर आते थे, जिसको बोला गया है सर्वस। सर्वस क्या होता है? मैन ऑफ हॉर्स, जो कि जो हॉर्सेस का सारा देख रखाव रखा था। दिस ऑल द थिंग्स यू कैन सी इन अंडर द मुगल्स, व्हाट दे डिड एंड व्हाट दे यूज्ड टू प्रेफर इन दिस। If we go further, servers train soldiers on the horseback. Just servers that they used to train the people that you can go on the horses, and the infantry, that is the पैदल, यानी कि जो पैदल चलने वाले थे, foot soldiers. Then they were given the training on the archery, तीरंदाजी, you can say the bow and arrow, and the use of the sword. ये means जो तलवारबाजी का करते थे काम, यानी उनको सिखाया जाता, उनको ट्रेन किया जाता that you can fought the war on the horse by sitting on the horse. The foot soldiers, the arm one, the short one, all that, then the bow and arrow, all these things they used to train them. The cavalry dominated by the army and the Mughal state did not feel the need to have a large professional trained infantry. Mughals army thought that they don't want the advanced army or the advanced technology they want to use. So the rulers area had the large number of armed peasants. So they have the large number of the armed peasants, and the local zamindars often supplied the Mughal with the पैदल soldiers. Means उनके पास बहुत ज़्यादा peasants थे, जमींदार थे, लोकल जमींदार थे, और मुगल्स जो क्या करते थे? पैदल सोल्जर्स थे, जो उनको काफी अच्छे से क्या करते? ट्रेन करते थे। A change occurred in the 18th century when the Mughal successor states like Awadh and the Banaras started recruiting peasants. अब इसमें क्या हुआ? जो ये 18th century क्या हुआ? जब उन्होंने अवध और बनारस में से पीजन को रिक्रूट करना स्टार्ट कर दिया into their armies and train them as a professional सोल्जर्स। और पीजेंट्स को जब उन्होंने ट्रेन करना स्टार्ट किया, कैसे? प्रोफेशनल सोल्जर्स की तरह, जिस तरह से एक आर्मी पर्सनल्स होता है। द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी अडॉप्ट द सेम मेथड व्हेन इट बिगन टू रिक्रूट फ्रॉम इट्स ओन आर्मी। ऐसे जब मुगल ने किया, तब ब्रिटिश जो थे, जो ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, उन्होंने भी ऐसा किया कि जो पीजेंट्स है, दोज वर द पीजेंट, दे स्टार्ट रिक्रूटिंग देम एंड गिव देम द सेम ट्रेनिंग लाइक अ प्रोफेशनल सोल्जर्स, which came to known as the Sepoy army from the Indian word सिपाही, यानी सिपाही हिंदी में बोला जाता था, the English used to call it the Sepoy. The meaning is the soldier. As the warfare technology changed in from the 1820s to the cavalry recruitment, the company army declined. अब इसमें क्या हुआ? Like in 1820s when the technology used to come, now the company declined their recruiting, because earlier the people used the sword, the bow and arrow, the foot soldier, and you can say the horsemen. Later on when the gun used to come, so they start this not we can't say that they stop it. They used to recruit the lesser number of the people in their army. Then this because the British Empire was fighting in Burma, in Afghanistan, in Egypt, where the soldiers were armed with the musket and the matchlock. If you ask what the musket is, a heavy gun used to infantry soldier. यानी जो एक बहुत heavy gun दिया जाता था soldiers को, and matchlocks are the early types of gun in which the powder was ignited by the match. Means the earlier there was the gun where we have to take this powder that we have to put it in the gun and we have to load it the particular gun and then the particular that gun is ready for the shooting. So this used this kind of you can say the weapons were used over there, that is the musket and the matchlockers. The soldier of the company army had to keep the pace with the changing military requirements. So the soldier of the company army had to keep the pace with the changing military requirement, and his infantry regiment now become more important. In the early 19th century, the British began to develop a uniform military culture. Now they developed a uniform military culture. Soldiers were increased the subject to the European style and training, drill and discipline. They learn the drill and discipline and regulate their life far more than the before. Often this created the problem since the caste and the community feeling were ignored to build the force. Professional soldiers could individuals so easily to give up the caste region and could. Now in this case, what the problem arises that like when the people like the sepoy when they come to know that they use the coated one, the you can say the जो बारूद होता है जो जिसमें भरा जाए, it is the made up of animal coated skin and they have the mass on that on which they have to take it out with the teeth and they have to put that particular you can say the barud in the gun, they have to load it out with and they used to ready the gun for the shooting. Now number of the people they do not want to recruit in the British army because they got the caste troubles. What they thought that if their family person used to recruit in the army in the British army, so they have to leave their country forever. They have to leave. They have to go to place, and if they go towards in the different countries, they can't come back their own country. They thought that they are not a part of their community. They are not a part of their caste, and they are not a part of their community. So there are some of the caste troubles they have, so they don't allow their children, or you can say they don't allow their person to go in the British Army to do the certain kinds of work. So in this chapter, we have learned that how slowly and gradually they, over the period of time, British came to India from the Britain, from the Cape of Good of by passing the Indian Ocean, that they used to come towards the South India. Earlier, they used to come for the trade purpose. They do the trade because they find a good quality of cotton, good quality of silk, and different types of spices that is like pepper, cardamom, and the cinnamon. So from that, they used to buy that particular spices, or you can say different types of spices at the cheaper rate, and they used to sell it at the higher price in different parts of the European country. Slowly and gradually, when they come to know that if we are doing this much of the trade, so we have to settle some, we have to settle over there. So they start making the fortification nearby the fortification. They used to settle over there. They used to make their warehouses where they used to put the number of the you can say the arms and amenities and the goods over there by which they can take their goods to the Britain. And slowly and gradually earlier they used to give the high amount of you can say revenue, but after the firman is given by the Aurangzeb that the British who used to take the particular goods towards the Britain, it should be duty free. Then later on when the Aurangzeb died, the three personnel came that the first one is the uh, uh, that the first person, that the second one is the Alivardi Khan, and the third person is Sirajuddaulah, where three of them that did not want to take the particular thing by the Britishers free of cost. So what they said that we didn't give you any kind of concession. You have to take this. If you want to do the export from India towards your country, you have to give the high revenue. But the Britishers were not agreed. They said that we can't give you any kind of revenue. They used to send them the disrespectful letters. They used to do the number of times of dealings. They used to give them the bribes, number of the things, but they do not agree. What they said that we are not agree what you said. You have to give us the numerous of amount or the huge amount of the prize. Then later on, the Battle of Plassey was happened. This is the first battle where the British have won the battle in front of the Sirajud-Dowla, and the traitor done by the which Mir Qasim, because he want to become the Nawab of the Bengal. So where the British, the Robert Clive give him the such a certain situation. If you give a if you help us, we will give you, or you will be the ruler of the Bengal, and you will become the Nawab of that. So he is like a puppet. He used to follow each and every order of the Britishers, like what we have to do, what we do not do. Later on, number of things have changed, that where we have seen like they fought with the Tipu Sultans, and many times they defeated. Then later, so many times the British were defeated, but in the last battle, the Tipu Sultan is defeated. Then we come to know about the further later on how the Robert, how this war with the Marathas were happened. Then they captured this Gaikwad, all the places which were earlier ruled by the Marathas, then later on is captured by the East India Company. Then we come with the claim of Paramontese, where they come with this thing that all the power is under only the British. Then we come to the doctrine of what the doctrine of life means. If any of the king he died, or he is not having the male son, so all this he is not having the male son, so all the territory will come under the which the British conquest only. Then we come on the last one is the setting of the new administration. The setting of the new administration, the district collector is the head of the particular administration. He also look after the all the things of the particular district, like law and order, the person committing any crime, he has to do the judgment. Then he has to see what the things are going to be happen. So all the decision is taken by the collector only, like he is the head of the particular district, that what he has to do. So like he has the privilege, or he has the kind of the autonomy that he can enjoy the certain power which is given by the British East India Company. So these are the things which we have learned, how slowly and gradually over the period of time British has expanded their territory, and they used to conquer our India. And by doing number of tricks or number of tactics, they used to rule over us. So these are the things which we learn over this. Now for the further this we can go to learn over this. So this is the third part of this video where we have completed this chapter. I hope you like this video. Thank you.